Okay, she's in.
Hey, I'm here.
Good.
You look marvelous.
Great.
Sorry for for the delay, everybody.
No, it was a lesson on Zoom. Thank you very much.
Oh, just what we all need, right? Another one of
more
those.
Zoom.
Yeah.
So, well, first off, a big thank you to all of you for participating. And so the purpose of our getting together is to go through the questionnaire that we're working from, so you can see the content and then just talk a moment about the mechanics of it. But I wanted to give you a little background first on the project. First off, Brown and I are acting as leads. I'm standing in for Martha for this one. So we'll both be your contacts if you have questions during the project. So the request came into us late last week from Naomi Barnes, who is the voter protection director for the Democratic Party. And they are coming up against a deadline, and they need some information from well, I guess all of the counties, but they're primarily interested in 25 counties initially, and possibly expanding it by 10 to 20 more. So the information we're gathering has to do with credentialing of volunteers who are going to act as poll watchers or ballot process observers. And you'll see all the questions on the questionnaire pretty specific to those areas. Let's see. A couple of things about that she has explained to me. Most counties, I guess, probably have similar information they require that the Democratic Party provide about the volunteers who are going to act in these roles. But some of the counties have very specific needs over and above the general, because they're going to try to format this information and drop it into existing databases or files or something. So we have to be pretty careful about some of the questions you'll see on the form, the format that the counties need to receive the information. Let's see. You'll be calling the county boards of election and asking the questions that we'll see on the questionnaire. So I kind of drafted a little script, but you all are more experienced than I am, so definitely freelance however you want. But so I was thinking, if I were calling, I would say something like, "Hello, I'm a volunteer with the Democratic Party of Georgia, calling to ask about your county's requirements for credentialing for poll watchers and ballot process observers. Who is the best person for me to speak with about that? Thanks." So those are the two things that we're looking for. Each of us is probably going to do about 5 counties, if that's all right. But if that doesn't work for you, let us know. We think the calls will be fairly quick.
Are we just asking who they should be talking to? Is that all we're asking?
No, there's a whole questionnaire. I'll show you. I'll put
okay,
it on
so
the screen.
Once we get to that, then what to the person?
That's right. You'll just go through the questions that are on the questionnaire and fill it in as you go.
What if this person has to call us back?
Well, it works very well in the way they've set up the questionnaire. They took away required fields. So that means that there are only 3 actual required fields on the form: your name and the county that you're working on. Beyond that, you fill in what you can from the call, and then you hit submit, and it rolls up into a spreadsheet. If you have to call back, or you made a mistake and you need to change the information, you open up a new spreadsheet with the form. You just click on clear the form, you put your name in, you hit the county, and you fill in just the information that you're updating or correcting. Hit submit, it rolls into the form. So you don't have to keep track of their previous submissions at all.
I'm more worried about, I'm sorry to take up time.
No, this is the purpose.
Brown and I are totally out of pocket all day, Tuesday night, Wednesday.
Yes.
Thursday and Friday, I have a commitment. So I was going to try to slide some stuff in tomorrow morning.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna rob a bank. That's
I know a lot of people have the holiday smack in the middle. So if you can just do what you can tomorrow. Our
Okay,
first 25 counties, she asked us if we could possibly get them done by sort of midday on Thursday. If we can't, I'll just tell her and we'll get them done as soon as we can. They do have a deadline. I think she told me it was like the 10th to submit this information to the county. So they're really up against it. So whatever we can provide is going to be more than they have.
okay. I have a commitment on Thursday and Friday. That's my problem.
Okay, then if you will do what you can and then
And
just
tomorrow.
let me know, I'll pick
Okay.
up whatever anybody, can't complete. Anything else? I'm thinking I'll put up the form and we can run through it. Mary Lou.
Do we want to speak to the registrar or can we speak to anybody? My experience is that sometimes people don't know anything. That you hit on the phone.
I'm open to everybody's thoughts. I would think that you would use your judgment. If you don't feel the person you're speaking with has the information, I think you should ask for someone else.
Okay, we still have that spreadsheet that has the registrar's information, all that stuff on it, right?
Brown, I don't know if you saw, I sent you a link to a spreadsheet that Naomi sent me that has the Board of Ed phone numbers.
Elections, right? Yeah.
Excuse me, elections. So if we can send that out after the call so everybody has the phone numbers.
I will do that.
There's some names on it, but Mary Lou, I don't know how much might have changed since.
Well, we updated it
make
to make
calls.
sure it was accurate. How many months ago did we do that? So
6.
it's as good as it is.
It
Okay.
would be nice to have that because it lists who people talk to,
Yeah, that's on the sheet that she sent me.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, let me do this and show you the questionnaire. She said, but not seeing the questionnaire. Sorry, hang on a minute.
You could see the questionnaire reflected in your glasses.
Wonderful. You can read it backwards or whatever.
I taught first grade, I can do that.
Let's see. So let's
Hey, you
share
guys,
this
there's some
screen.
late breaking news in the last couple minutes. Herschel Walker paid for an abortion in 2009.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
We were just waiting. We were just waiting for him to step into something. That's all.
With the other foot, he's already pretty deep.
Yep, there are receipts. The woman has total documentation. So awesome.
Oh,
That's
wow.
a positive to me.
It's the same year
Well.
Trump did it.
Holy cow. Well, that gives us some energy to run through this thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just start and kind of scroll through and y'all stop me as you have questions. So first off, the required fields. You can put in whatever email. I don't use this one for these, so I would switch. You put in the email you want and your name. And then question 3, you have a drop-down list of the counties. You just click on the one that you're working on. And the first group of questions are for poll watching or poll observing. You'll see that in the second part, it kind of parallels the same sort of questions for the absentee ballot process observers. So question 4, that goes back to what I was saying. Some of these counties have very specific needs about how this information is presented. Next question, same kind of thing, And now, for example, here, you'll be able to fill in. So I'm sure they would appreciate any kind of help if there are comments that you think might be useful to the party, you could fill it in there.
Oh my God, you mean they have to do this 159 different ways?
No, she's told me that most of them, there is a format, so most of them follow it, but some of the counties like Fulton has additional information they want. And so, okay, so then some of this is just the logistics about how the party gets the required credentials to the volunteers. Just going to keep going unless you all have a question.
Well, what's interesting to me is I am an observer for early voting, and I don't know how DeKalb has submitted all of this stuff or what credentials they're sending in for me.
Well, what happens is the Democratic Party has to send a letter on their stationery with the credentialing information that the county requires. And
Okay.
then the county issues the badge and the credentialing letter, because I believe you will have to have both of those,
Right.
a badge and a letter to
Okay.
get you in. So that's going to be the process. That's why there's such a tight turnaround for them with this. Now this 17 is an example of, I think probably like Fulton has additional requirements. And I imagine some of the other big counties might as well. So here you have space in 18 to put in anything else you think might be helpful to the party that you learned. And then it switches over to, this is absentee ballot process monitoring. So they usually just call it process monitoring. It also, I gather, can include some provisional ballots, but mostly it's referring to absentee ballots. And again, the same questions about the format of the information, what actual information on the volunteer is needed. Now, at this point, and some of this information the counties may not have yet. Naomi told me that, let's see, for the processing, they can't start until October 24th, and they have to have it complete by a deadline, but they can choose any time in between. So you may find that they don't have this information yet. We're not sure.
Are we going to be calling them back, or?
You know, given that this is less pressing, these kind of questions, it's possible that they will ask us to cycle back and ask them. The primary thing they're going after right now is making sure they get the credentialing information correct and submitted on time. So that's really what they're asking us to do. When you get to the bottom, whether you have all the information or not, you just hit submit, and then you clear the form and you can start the next county.
Okay. As Mary Lou said, it looks like some of these are very specific questions that the average person may not know.
Well, that's why I think it would be good when you first call to be clear that you're talking about credentialing information and who would be the person who would be able to answer those questions.
Is there a process? Is it possible to edit the form once it's submitted?
You mean if you have to change your information?
Or add to it or whatever, you get a call back?
What you do is just, so say you finish the call, you submit what you've got. Then you get new information or you realize you have to change it. You open up a new form, like, so you just clear the form, you open up a new form, you fill in your name, the county, and then you only fill in what you're adding,
Okay.
you're changing.
So
And-
by putting the county's name in, it repopulates with what you've already put in?
Yes, it does.
Thank you.
Is there anything else you saw on this that you wanted to ask about?
I do want a copy of that script you read at the very beginning, Leslie. I thought that was very helpful.
Okay. Should I, what's easiest, Pat? Should I email it or put it in the chat or what?
Email it. I'll put it in the chat.
All right. Let's see. So hopeless with this. Do I need to leave the form up on the screen, or
I
we
would
good?
prefer, I'm working on an iPad. I would prefer it if you don't
Email?
mind.
Yeah, that would be easier for me. to-
Okay, I'll just, because Brown has the spreadsheet to send out, so we can consolidate those emails.
Do we have our assignments?
Brown, you want to jump in and talk about that?
Sure. I think I might have emailed Amy. She has her assignments.
Oh, okay.
Pat Bird has, and Mary Lou, did you get yours? So Sandra, I would say that you and Jan may not get your assignments until the weekend, because right now we're waiting to get the additional counties, unless we get them early tomorrow morning.
Yeah, Brown, let me update that. She, Naomi, didn't say when she would send the additional ones, but she's hoping we could complete them by Friday sometime, which means to me, she's got to get them to us tomorrow. And so, Sandra, I'm sorry, was it you who mentioned that you're affected by the holidays?
And then I have a commitment on Thursday and Friday. So
Okay, so you may not be able to do this.
yeah, what I was
Yeah.
hoping was just to, do as much as I could. This sounded important and urgent tomorrow.
Brown, are there any counties from the 25 or 27 that you haven't assigned yet?
I assigned them all,
Okay,
and
Oh.
I'll after we get off, I'll just have a quick conversation with Leslie and see what we need to do, and I'll let you know, Sandra, if I can
Okay.
send them.
okay. Is there anybody on the call who has more time later in the week than tomorrow that we could switch out? And provide Sandra with some of that list that we've already sent?
If you have a lot and you can't get to a few of them tomorrow, you're busy tomorrow.
I could
I'd
swap.
be happy to share. That's
Me
fine.
too, I'd be glad to share mine.
Yeah.
Okay.
whatever.
Pat, do you have some time, like Wednesday, Thursday, if the additional list comes in that could corral
Friday
you?
afternoon. Yeah, Wednesday to Thursday.
Okay, maybe we could do that then. If that's very generous of y'all, Sandra, if you want to pick up Brown, and I can send you the counties that we've sent to Pat.
Yeah.
And,
So I have a few hours. I have a couple of hours tomorrow. That's it.
okay,
And not much. And I have 0 time on follow up.
that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as you just let us know where you stand, we're fine
Yeah.
with whatever you got.
Yeah. I will let you know, Brown.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, Brown, what time are you on Tuesday? When do you kind of disappear for us?
I was shooting for lunchtime, but I might be able to stay a little later. It
Okay.
depends.
So Sandra, if you be sure to copy me if you're sending anything to Brown.
Okay.
Let me put my,
I need your email because it just says necessary trouble when I look at you.
oh, sorry.
Everything
Okay,
I've-
so,
Everything I've sent out has had both our emails on.
And then I have it. If Brown
Okay.
sends it out, I've got it.
So as a general rule, maybe if you'll copy both of us this
Sure.
week at the minimum, everybody.
Okay.
So we'll be sure we don't have a gap. Okay. Thanks for being so flexible. This thing is kind of fluid at the moment. Any other questions? Okay, so what I have is that we're going to send you a spreadsheet that has the contact phone numbers. We're going to include the script, and we're going to switch those counties from Pat to Sandra. Was there anything I missed? Okay, I think we're good.
Great. Thank you so much, Leslie.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Right, and
I know.
call us if you have any questions.
Okay.
Thank you.
Leslie, why don't you stay on for a second?
Oh, I may just have messed up. Let me see. Let's try that again. All right. So y'all, if you're good, then Brown and I'll just carry on